Some breaking news. The markets today were off as much as 600 points. When we started the show, it was down about 5 and change. And now, as we speak, the market's on a little bit of a path to recovery, only down 287 points. And frankly, what's happening in the financial markets in the news today? Talk to me.
Well, so exactly that. I mean, a lot of people are attributing this to the tariff situation that we opened the show with. But it looks to me, John, like a lot of our viewers are using this as a buying opportunity. They were buying the dips. And maybe it's an opportunity for them to make a little bit of money, get some stocks a little discounted.
Hot name in the news, Uber. Just a few weeks ago, Lyft came public. And Lyft is like the redheaded stepchild of Uber, but the stock came out and it flew up. The stock is up. Uber comes public in the midst of these tariff negotiations last week with the markets down. I'm getting a report from the Florida New York Stock Exchange from one of our contributors, Rob Arciero from Farina and Company. Tells me Uber is getting smacked today. Well, $37 off almost $4.
So why did the Uber IPO fall so flat? I mean, it can't just be that it debuted the day of the tariffs.
Well, I can tell you this, and you're probably going to hear a lot more about this. We're going to talk about it a lot on Liquid Lunch. It's called a segment called Naked Lunch, where we talk to you about short selling. You probably don't even know what that is. That's when you bet that a stock goes down. And you know what's been happening lately? These underwriters, what they're doing is they have people locked in that bought these stocks way before they went public. And they have a profit built in. So what the underwriters do is they short the stock on the day it comes public to lock in a profit. And they're actually knocking Uber down to lock in a profit. And to me, it's hurting other retail investors. This short selling thing is important to the markets. But when you have major institutions doing it for a select group of people, that's not capitalism. I don't know. What do you prefer, Frankie?
Well,
Uber, Lyft? Uber, Lyft?
You know, I take both. I take whatever's closest and whatever is less expensive. But I do have some issues with the way that Uber does business. They seem to be going. It's a little different in New York because you have to have certain licenses that they don't necessarily need in other cities. But they go into certain cities and they'll offer the lowest possible prices until they put every other local car service out of business. All the while, their company is losing money, and they're using the increased customer base to raise money from these angel investors. I'm wondering if maybe what we're seeing with IPOs like Lyft and Uber, you know, maybe finally the balloon has been popped in terms of not being able to.
You think the bubble might be bursting?
I'm wondering. I'm not a financial guy, but John, real quick, also some other breaking news today. The Supreme Court is allowing this antitrust lawsuit against Apple to continue, and then you have couple that with the fact that several presidential candidates are saying break up Facebook. Even the co-founder of Facebook wrote this big New York Times op-ed saying it's time to break up Facebook. I'm wondering if the public is sort of getting a little frustrated with big tech.
Well, I can say this. There's not one thing I like about Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren. I mean, she actually faked her ethnicity to get favorable treatment to get into colleges and law schools. So I don't know. Everybody wants to look at Donald Trump banging a stripper 25 years ago. How about someone running for president who lied about their ethnicity to get favorable treatment? That sounds worse than a politician having an affair, which has been happening since the beginning of time.
Don't sell the president short, though, John. She wasn't a stripper. She was an adult film star.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Frankie. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying. Elizabeth Warren, I don't agree with anything she says, but on this one thing, I think I might agree with her. The Amazons, the Googles, the Facebooks, they're controlling our lives. They're getting too big, okay? And you know, back in the day, they broke up AT&T, they broke up the Baby Bells, and the phone company was broken up, Con Ed, all these major utilities were broken up, and maybe they got to decentralize some of this power and break up some of these companies. Well, I agree with Elizabeth Warren on one thing. That's it, and I won't agree with her anymore.
Kamala Harris saying the same thing now. I think some other folks are saying the same thing. So I think this might be a trend that continues. If there's anybody that's got a reason to be frustrated with the social media companies, it's, I think, Trump supporters. Look, Laura Loomer, banned. Alex Jones, banned. Roger Stone, banned from Twitter. So I think maybe this is one of those rare areas where you could see folks on the right, like Steve Bannon, and folks on the left, like Elizabeth Warren, coming together.
You know what? Scott Lebedo said it earlier. The left is all for freedom of speech and freedom of expression and all this other good crap, as long as it's for the lefties. But you have a conservative artist, he gets heckled doing a painting, expressing himself. We need to get a little more tolerance from the left and stop the hypocrisy. And hopefully every day, right here on Liquid Lunch, we're going to bring you the straight talk. We're going to put it in the shaker, the news, the politics, the markets. We're going to shake it up. We're going to stir it up. And we're going to serve it on the rocks, straight up, just for you.